All right, it is looking very, very exciting indeed. The gap between the BJP and the Congress in Madhya Pradesh is now fairly startling. The gap is also building between the Congress and the BJP in Rajasthan. And indeed, Chhattisgarh, which many in the Congress would have suggested would be a walkover in their favor, it is quite close. Telangana, yes, the Congress has done incredibly well. Defeating or potentially defeating the BRS looks very much on the cards. But there's some important breaking news, Maria,
yes,
which is coming in as well.
Yes, and you, as you heard from Supriya, she was talking about perhaps the Congress will have a better bargaining power within the India alliance because if they have unseated a regional satrap in the state of Telangana. News coming in that Congress has called the India meeting on December 6th. They will have much to explain to all other partners, particularly as to what happened in a bipolar contest between the BJP and the Congress in the state of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and also Chhattisgarh. And I think that becomes important because, you know, we have been saying that if the Congress were to do well in one of the, states where it's a bipolar contest, then they would have a better bargaining power. Yes, they may have trumped BRS, a regional strong force in the state of Telangana. But when it is about a direct fight between the BJP and the Congress, it almost appears to be a mismatch. BJP winning with almost the double and perhaps bettering its number ever in the state of Madhya Pradesh, a state that they have been in power for 20 years, a chief minister who has been in power for 18 years, and in Rajasthan, which is following the revolving door process. But look at Chhattisgarh number. Sanjay, the question here is 45-43. This is too close an election for the Congress party's comfort.
Chhattisgarh, not just Congress party, but many others kind of declared the election to have been won by the Congress for many months ago. Since then, there are not many people who actually were giving any chance to the BJP. These numbers, of course, these numbers are closing because morning when counting started, Congress was leading very comfortably in terms of the trends that were coming in. This is only election in terms of three other places where counting is going on, where we are seeing kind of a reversal of a trend. A total reversal has not happened, but that is the closing of gap is actually happening in Chhattisgarh. This is very, very interesting. These elections would go to the wire as the numbers start coming in and counting still in process. I think Mr. Baghel was trailing. I don't know whether he is still trailing or not. T.S. Sindhya also is trailing. Now. That again becomes very interesting because both Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister trailing in a situation where Mr. Baghel on behalf of Congress party was actually touring every other state and was acting as Congress's troubleshooter, both in terms of with all kinds of resources.
Sure. But just Sanjay, one important development that's just come in, Bhupesh Baghel is now in the lead. So that's changed in the last little while.
I'd like to make a point.
Yes, please.
You know, this election was widely being talked about as a battle of welfare schemes because, you know, everybody was talking about welfare and schemes and Labharti and so on. If you look at the kind of trends we're seeing right now, BRS, which was so dependent on the welfare schemes that it had unfurled over the last 10 years, is losing the state.
Yes.
Ashok, Gehlot in Rajasthan,
with all his welfare schemes,
looks like he may be losing.
Yeah.
You know, and even Chhattisgarh.
So bravery doesn't amount to much.
No, even in Chhattisgarh, again, where Baghel had done so many welfare schemes, particularly in the field of agriculture, you know, now it's turned out to be a really close contest. So obviously there is much more to elections than just trying to woo voters with welfare schemes. There's organizations, the mechanics of it, running an election campaign.
Go across to NDTV's Pratibha, who's got a guest with her. Go ahead, Pratibha.
Well, I have with me AICC Secretary as well as Telangana State in charge, Mr. Mansoor Ali Khan, sir. I mean, the wave moving towards Congress, how happy are you at this time?
It's actually, it was expected and we've been on the ground and right from when Rahul ji did the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the cadre were really enthusiastic, and then the contribution of Sonia ji for Telangana and the creation of Telangana, and Priyanka ji's campaign, Kharge Saab's campaign, and then all the local leadership, and because we've been seeing from the last 3-4 months how the ground situation is and what was reported. There was a huge difference, and the people of Telangana were actually fed up of the BRS government and the failed promises.
In fact, we are stationed outside the party headquarters here in Telangana, and there's a lot of festive spirit right outside with a lot of firecrackers and drum beats that have been playing. But then we also hear of ministers from Karnataka who have been lodging themselves here in Telangana. Is there some sort of a fear or insecurity in terms of BRS approaching a lot of your candidates?
Absolutely not. Actually, this is all, I don't know, a creation. And as all party workers, the party members who are been deployed by the High Command in the electoral process of the party have been here. And absolutely, there is no fear about any of our MLAs or candidates being in trouble. And we are absolutely sure we will all be together and we will form a very healthy government.
So a sweeping majority is what you say?
Definitely. Because it's the reflection of the confidence of people of Telangana have in the Congress party, and definitely we will be sweeping into power.
So, and a bigger question is, if the Congress were to come to power, who will be the chief minister?
See, in Congress party there is a process, and there will the MLAs and the High Command will finally take a call, and there is we have established process in the Congress party.
Right. So that was Mr. Mansoor Ali Khan talking about Congress heading in for a sweeping majority in Telangana. Well, a lot would depend on how the trends would really proceed from here onwards in Telangana.
All right, we've got Uma Sudhir with us as well, from who joins us from Hyderabad. But before that, let me go across to Veera Raghav. Veera Raghav, you had a point to make.
No, very quick point to make. Welfare schemes alone are not a guarantee of success, and also for an incumbent government, one of the sentiments, and I think Uma, maybe we can put that across to Uma, an incumbent government going around tom-tomming saying that, look, I gave you this, I gave you this, I gave you this, can have a backlash as well, though it's not had one in Madhya Pradesh. But I think in Telangana, Uma, there was a lot of reliance on this KCR image, and as we've been discussing and you've pointed out since the outset, it's a KCR versus KCR election. Was there too much reliance for the BRS on the KCR image, forgetting the fact that family rule is something that India has rejected with every regional party? Every regional party has fallen because of family rule.
Yes, indeed. The perception of arrogance of the family and power being centered only within 4 members of the family, that's something that certainly did not go well with the people of Telangana. While KCR's welfare policies were all something that people did acknowledge, Raitu Bandhu or pensions and so on. But during elections, it's not what you have already got, but what you're going to get next. That is what is a carrot that is dangled before people, and I would think the 2 segments that the Congress very specifically addressed, whether it is a youth segment or the women to who they promised 2,500 rupees monthly honorarium. They also promised free bus travel, and they also promised the gas at 500 rupees. And the debate, even rural women actually were, I was surprised that they were able to point out that it was the Congress which did it first, and why didn't they do it earlier if they really thought that we needed cheap cylinders, because they also had heard that KCR had then announced that they would be getting gas cylinders for 400 rupees. So it's not what you've already got, but what you're going to get that perhaps has that attraction, has that kind of, yes, so these are the kind of vehicles you'll find where people are...
Sure. Uma, just a quick question. Is there a change in mood within the Congress party that you're actually detecting right now? Or do they believe that it could actually be lower than what they had initially projected? Or do you believe that the trends thus far are exactly where the Congress wants it to be?
The Congress is in a very upbeat mood, and they do not think that they are going to be just about the majority number. They, in fact, seem to be feeling that they are going to be in a very, very comfortable position here, and therefore all the talk about whether if you have only about 2 short or 3
Uma,
more,
we'll come back to you in just half a second. There are lots of colour for the Congress party over there. I want to turn our attention to Chhattisgarh and stay on Chhattisgarh for just a few minutes because it's getting really interesting now. In the last 1 hour or so, we've seen a drastic change. I'm going to walk across to the screen so that we can actually take a look at what the situation in Chhattisgarh is, and then let's take a look at the regional breakup in Chhattisgarh as well. This is extremely close at this stage, and let's just have it out for you. Remember, the magic mark is 46. You say the Congress has actually reached that magic mark. Not quite, but these are now becoming trends slowly. In the next 10 or 15 minutes, what you start seeing would likely become a result. But the fact is that the BJP at 43 up 28 means that this cannot be taken at all for granted. This going down by a few seats, this going up by a few seats is quite possible. Of course, it can happen the other way around as well. But this is not, and I think this is the key point, what the Congress had expected of Chhattisgarh at all. So, Mitra, would you like to sort of come in and take a look or tell us a little bit about what you see developing in Chhattisgarh?
So I think initially when we started with the election campaign, Vishnu, we saw that Congress was in lead. Nobody imagined that BJP would come back because Raman Singh ji himself was very dormant, silent. We were not hearing much. And I think the campaign also which BJP launched, especially the campaign for election and the Mahadev app controversy and all these things, it came in very late. But I think one of the important factors which is affecting all the north states, I mean all the 3 states in the north, is the anti-Hindu or the anti-Sanatan rant which has happened. It has consolidated the Hindu votes. That is what I feel is really bringing out these numbers.
Sure.
Because otherwise Chhattisgarh was a clear winning shot for the Congress. But now I think BJP might just
be in the ascendancy. Let's just take a look at the region-wise split of Chhattisgarh. This is north, and the number is a whopping 12 up for the BJP at 17 at this stage out of 32 seats in this area. The BJP, the Congress, I should say, down by 9. If you take a look at South Chhattisgarh, there are 3 regions in the state. In South Chhattisgarh, 16 out of 16. The Congress down 7. The BJP up 6. So in all of these areas, it's very much the BJP which is on the ascendancy. And finally, though it is narrowly in favor of the Congress in the center of central Chhattisgarh, just look at the BJP up 11. So it's neck and neck.
Yes, but look at the southern part. Let's bring in the
go back to the
southern part. In 2018, Vishnu, the Congress had 48.8% vote share.
Yeah.
They had won 15 seats. And the BJP had won only one seat with 33%. Now look at the shift. 48, that means they had an upper advantage of 15% in 2018. Look at the north now. In north, there was an 8% gap between the BJP and the Congress in 2018. The Congress was at 40.6 with 24 seats. Now they are down by 9 seats. Similarly, in central, there was a gap of 10% between the BJP and the Congress, with the Congress having a vote share of 43 and the BJP at 33. The gap of seats, Vishnu, at that time was 29 for the Congress and 9 for the BJP.
It'll be interesting, and Rajat, come in on this. Why do you believe, or what are some of the key factors you believe, are resulting in the BJP being in the upswing over here?
Well, I think it's one of the most interesting campaign strategies that BJP adopted. BJP was very nimble right from the upfront because...
half a second, Raman Singh speaking. Sorry about that, Rajat. Let's quickly listen in.
उसका आशीर्वाद आज मध्य प्रदेश की जनता ने दिया।
नतीजा क्या निकलेगा, पर भूपेश जी का नतीजा दिख रहा है कि 2 राउंड में पीछे चल रहे हैं। इसका मतलब यह है कि जनता ने उनके सारे मंत्रियों को नकारा है, पूरी सरकार को रिजेक्ट किया है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूरा का पूरा आशीर्वाद और समर्थन दिया है।
सर, शुरुआती बढ़त आखिर क्या माने कि बीजेपी को जनता क्यों चुन रही है?
मैंने पहले भी इसका जवाब दिया था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी मोदी जी के नाम से, मोदी जी के काम से 9-9.5 साल की उपलब्धि को लेकर जिस प्रकार केंद्रीय नेतृत्व ने मेहनत किया, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने समय दिया, गृह मंत्री जी ने समय दिया, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी ने जो समय हमको दिया, और जनता को मोदी जी की गारंटी, जनता ने उस पर भरोसा किया, भूपेश की बातों पर भरोसा नहीं किया। ये प्रथम चरण के रुझान में स्पष्ट दिख रहा है और ये निश्चित रूप से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए और राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व का आशीर्वाद मिला और हम जीत की ओर बढ़ेंगे।
छत्तीसगढ़ में आपको सबसे ज्यादा भरोसा, आप सबसे मुखर होकर बोले कि हम जीत रहे हैं, भूपेश पे भरोसा लोगों का कम हो गया। और सबसे बड़ी बात, गृह मंत्री ने आप पर भरोसा जताया था। आपको अंडर करंट पता था सर कि ऐसा हो रहा है?
अंडर करंट दिख रहा था और इतना बड़ा अंडर करंट होगा इसका एहसास सामान्यतः लोगों को नहीं हो पा रहा था, मगर मैं इस बात को लगातार रिपीट कर रहा था। मेरी बात को लोग भरोसा कितना करते हैं मैं नहीं जानता, मगर मैं मीडिया के माध्यम से रोज बोल रहा था, एक ही बात को रिपीट कर रहा था कि जबरदस्त अंडर करंट है और भूपेश को छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता रिजेक्ट कर चुकी है, उसके चेहरे को हराना चाहती है।
सर, आप बैकफुट पे थे एकदम से, क्योंकि आपको क्या लगता है क्या गेम चेंजर रहा जो आप अचानक से जो बिल्कुल बैकफुट पे थे अचानक से लीड करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं? तो ऐसी कौन सी गेम चेंजर पॉलिसीज थी, किस तरह से इसको मोबिलाइज किया आपने पूरे कैडर को?
नहीं, लीड डॉक्टर रमन ने नहीं किया, लीड पूरे सामूहिक नेतृत्व में हमने किया। मैं भी मेहनत किया, हम सब ने किया और राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व ने इतना समय दिया। मगर जैसे ही हमारी घोषणा पत्र जारी किया हमने और वो घोषणा पत्र में मोदी जी की गारंटी उसमें लग गया, उसके बाद जनता को 100% भरोसा हो गया कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो कहती है उसको करती है और मोदी जी की बात पे। और 15 साल, फिर मैं रिपीट करूंगा, 15 साल जो डेवलपमेंट के काम हमने किया था विकास के, उस काम को भी मुहर लगाया।
क्या आपको लगता है कि जो करप्शन था, जो भूपेश बघेल ने जो किया था लगातार एक के बाद एक करप्शन की जो चीजें सामने निकल करके आ रही थी, उसने भी बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले किया?
बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा था भूपेश बघेल के करप्शन, और लगातार वो शराब की घोटाला हो, कोयला का घोटाला हो, महादेव ऐप का मामला हो, पीएससी में भर्ती में युवकों के साथ छल किया गया वो घोटाला हो, महिलाओं के साथ जो उस प्रकार से वादा खिलाफी किया गया वो बातें हैं। इन बातों को लेकर लोग भूपेश के चेहरा को बदलना चाहते थे।
एक बात ये सामने आ रही थी सर, एक बात ये सामने आ रही थी कि बीजेपी जो है शहरों में अच्छा करेगी, लेकिन गांव में क्योंकि किसानों तक उनका पेनिट्रेशन इतना अच्छा नहीं है, तो क्या आपको लगता है कि आपकी जो योजनाएं हैं और जो आपकी बातें हैं वो ग्रामीण इलाकों तक भी पहुंच पाई हैं?
पूरी महिलाओं ने और युवकों ने जम के वोट दिया और किसानों ने भी समर्थन।
सर, आप 9 मंत्री पीछे हैं, अगर मौका मिलेगा मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे?
ये पार्टी का निर्णय है, पार्टी जिसको भी जवाबदारी देगी। हम लोग एक सामान्य कार्यकर्ता हैं, जब जैसी जो जवाबदारी दी गई उसका पालन किया, आगे जैसे पार्टी का निर्देश होगा और जिसको भी जवाबदारी दी जाएगी सब मिलके उसको छत्तीसगढ़ में एक बेहतर सरकार बनाने का काम करें।
आप चौथी बार ये जिम्मेवारी संभालने के लिए तैयार हैं?
मैं कहता हूं ना, पार्टी मुझे हमेशा, मैंने कभी मांगा नहीं है। पार्टी जब जो जवाबदारी दी है उसका क्रियान्वयन मैं करता रहा हूं। आगे क्या जवाबदारी देगी पार्टी के नेता तय करेंगे।
ये 9 मंत्री पीछे चल रहे हैं अभी,
ये पूरी सरकार पीछे चल रही है। जब मुख्यमंत्री 2 राउंड में पीछे हो गया, इसका मतलब ये बता दिया कि जनमत उनके खिलाफ।
दावे कर रहे थे, कई तरह के दावे थे, 75 पार तो आपने अभी भी कहा है,
75 की बात कर रहे थे। और मैं कल भी आपको कहा था, मैंने आंकड़े भी बताए थे कि कांग्रेस कहां तक जाएगी और वो 40 भी क्रॉस नहीं कर पाई।
All right, so breaking news now coming in. If you look at the latest lead situation in Chhattisgarh, we've got it up 47 now. It's swapped, change between the BJP and the Congress. It's the BJP which is above the halfway mark now. The Congress has gone down a little bit. You saw Raman Singh speaking just a few moments back. It's changed again. It's 49. The BJP pushing towards that 50 mark. Remember, the majority mark is 46. Raman Singh, you heard speaking over there, appearing incredibly confident at this stage. And the key point over here, one among many, is that many or most of the exit polls got it all wrong as far as Chhattisgarh is concerned.
Well, Vishnu, in the morning at 8 o'clock, I mentioned this point, that none other than it was only Amit Shah ji who was telling every reporter he was meeting over the past 10 days that you will see a massive upset. Place your bets on BJP in Chhattisgarh. He was the lone voice who was saying this repeatedly because he was sensing it from the ground. Understand the strategy of BJP. It became a fait accompli 3 months back that Congress is winning, there is no leadership. But BJP started a very, very micro campaign. They picked up very small but genuine issues. They picked up the PSC scam, the civil services scam in the state. They picked up the agrarian crisis issue. They picked up the huge unemployment crisis right now in Chhattisgarh.
And
all of these simmering was happening, and they used a plain vanilla campaigning. They did not go out to try extraordinary things.
And then there was the entire thing for the STs, which was announced by the Prime Minister in Jharkhand. Aarti, you had a point. You had a point to make on this.
Maninder Singh,
on what exactly is happening over here. Just quickly before we go to Mr. Sirsaiya.
On the ST issue, I just want to point out that the Prime Minister made that remark, that announcement on the 15th of November. But the Bastar region in Chhattisgarh
had already voted.
So
that may not have been a factor.
No, I would say it is the work on the ground that the BJP and RSS have done over the last few years, sustained work amongst tribals, and I think that there was a polarization between Christian Adivasis and non-Christian Adivasis, which has worked to the BJP's advantage very clearly.
Yes, I will. Just a quick word from Maninder Singh Sirsa, who's joining me from the BJP office. Maninder ji, आदाब. आपके चेहरे पे मुस्कुराहट लाजमी है क्योंकि अगर 11:30 बज गया है और ये नंबर्स दिख रहे हैं. Give us what do you think is working for the BJP in Chhattisgarh? We are understanding what worked in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan as well. What do you think worked or perhaps is working if these numbers hold?
See, one thing is for sure that when we talk about Chhattisgarh, the big scam in Chhattisgarh was definitely a most important issue in Chhattisgarh. When you talk about Mahadev app, you talk about the corruption in Chhattisgarh, the loot in Chhattisgarh, and the Prime Minister also very clearly said that people are just looting and filling up their coffers. So I think the corruption was the biggest issue in Chhattisgarh, and that was the reason that people want to boot out this party out and this government out, and they have given the mandate to the BJP, to the Narendra Modi ji.
And nobody was giving Chhattisgarh to you. I remember I did speak to a lot of BJP leaders, and I agree with what Rajat here is saying, that Home Minister Amit Shah, who has been crisscrossing Chhattisgarh, has been telling everyone that be prepared for a surprise in Chhattisgarh. So perhaps they had sensed that. I want to understand from you, what do you think BJP did right, besides, of course, taking on the Congress party on the issue of corruption?
See, the one thing is corruption. The second most important thing is, see, people of Chhattisgarh, maybe Prime Minister's slogan, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas. So Chhattisgarh people have seen that in spite of Congress government there, the schemes of center are reaching them. The government of India is doing their best to get them, reach them, the scheme should reach them. And at the same time, the Chhattisgarh CM is just looting them like anything. So Amit Shah ji was very clear from day one. He was categorically saying and again कि मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. In our meetings also, उन्होंने कहा बार-बार he said कि मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ छत्तीसगढ़ को लोग बहुत गलत आंक रहे हैं. छत्तीसगढ़ के अंदर बीजेपी का साथ है. लोग चाहते हैं बीजेपी को लाना और बदलाव आएगा. और छत्तीसगढ़ के आंकड़े आपको हैरान करने वाले होंगे. तो day one he was sensing this कि छत्तीसगढ़ will be a big change. And when he said about मध्य प्रदेश कि मध्य प्रदेश में हम 140-50 सीटें जीतेंगे, I think no media house was buying his argument.
Okay, Maninder ji, just half a second, because this is incredible, the turnaround that we are seeing in Chhattisgarh. Let me go straight across to NDTV's Sunil Prabhu, who joins us now from the Congress office here in Delhi. Sunil, give us an idea of what some of the reactions are. Is the mood one of despondency? Because, Telangana, I beg your pardon, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, things aren't really going well for the Congress.
Not going well, and in fact, just to give you a mood, the bands that were started have all stopped. It's completely now getting desolate. I think clearly the message is loud and clear. for the Congress party that they have made a number of mistakes. And I think many of their general secretaries, many of their leaders did report to the Congress leadership during the campaign, be it in Chhattisgarh, be it in Madhya Pradesh, that things were not going well. They did tell them that in Madhya Pradesh there was a lackluster campaign. The fact that in Chhattisgarh, especially in urban areas, the situation hasn't been very, very good. And of course, this entire campaign of attacking on the corruption issue has definitely made a huge impact. So definitely for the Congress party as well as opposition parties, it's back to the drawing room stage. They understand now that ahead of that finals of 2024, it's a long road ahead, and definitely a lot of mistakes that have been committed, and really they are really what one leader conceded and said, extremely disappointed and upset with the way the votes have turned out to be.
Vishnu, similar to what we had seen in 2015 in Bihar, the BJP started distributing laddus around 8:30, 9:30, and that's what happened.
But I'll tell you where laddus are being distributed right now.
Is it?
In Jaipur.
Yes.
Our colleague Vedant at a BJP leader. Is this the BJP office? This is in fact, I think, the BJP office where you are, Vedant. What's happening over there? Laddu distribution started. The numbers seem very much in favor of the BJP at this stage.
Well, Vishnu, I'm very close to the city palace here in Jaipur, and here you can see there's celebration. The dhols are out, and BJP flags are out. In fact, a lot of women from the Raj Mahal, as it is called, are here as well. Let me try getting a word from them as well. आप बताइए, दिया कुमारी जी अब लगभग 20,000 वोटों से आगे चल रही हैं। क्या लड्डू बंटना शुरू हो गया ऑलरेडी?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल लड्डू बंटने शुरू हो गए। दिया कुमारी जी आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हम तो ये चाह रहे हैं कि राजस्थान में मुख्यमंत्री दिया कुमारी जी बने, क्योंकि हमारी महिलाओं की जो पीड़ा है वो सिर्फ महिला ही समझ सकती है। और अभी हमें अगर युवाओं का उज्जवल भविष्य चाहिए, या अपने ये जो वंशवाद, जातिवाद जो ये चल रहा है, तुष्टिकरण की नीति से मुक्ति पानी है, तो हमें दिया कुमारी जी जैसी इनके जैसे हमें जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर
ठीक है। चलिए आप बताइए अभी रुझान है, परिणाम नहीं आए, लेकिन अगर बीजेपी आती है पावर में तो ये किसकी जीत आप देखती हैं? ये मोदी की जीत है, दिया कुमारी जी की जीत? Here you can see Vishnu, Modi chants of Jai Shri Ram as well. Can you try and get the word from some more people? आप बताइए सर, लड्डू बंटना शुरू हो गया है, अभी आप आश्वस्त हैं कि बीजेपी यहाँ पर पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ आएगी?
मेरे हिसाब से बीजेपी राजस्थान में अभी 115 के आसपास जीत रही है।
हो गया?
ये जीत हमारी
आप हो गया?
There you have it, Vishnu, from the people here, BJP supporters out in large numbers here outside BJP Karyalayas, and they've planned huge celebrations.
Vedant,
prominent faces like Diya Kumari.
Vedant, I want to understand from you who all are there at the BJP office. You know, the leader who arrives first may have got some indication from the central leadership.
Absolutely, Maria. In fact, sources within the party here tell us that two senior leaders are expected by today evening. Of course, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has been here holding the fort, for the BJP. In fact, boosting the morale of BJP workers here. He came to the BJP office here as well, and we're expecting senior leadership from the BJP to come here by today evening as well. And initially, as we were reporting, the rebel factor, the independents, could have become important. Because there was a cliffhanger that was predicted by the exit polls, but right now the BJP is looking at a comfortable majority. And Maria, here you can see laddus are out as well in true BJP style. Okay, so Maria, a lot of celebrations have been planned, and of course, not just
we have seen that kind of celebrations in the BJP office, and all that will be translating into massive celebrations at the BJP headquarters in Delhi at the ITU.
It's not that we are stopping you. We know that you have a thing for laddus. Go right ahead, Vedant.
Okay, Sanjay, when we look at these images, yes, state after state, it's a convincing victory. Madhya Pradesh 72 plus another 15. That is what the BJP has. In the state of Rajasthan also, a massive victory, a convincing victory. And if these numbers hold, then Chhattisgarh could also be good news for the BJP. My question then is, सब जगह collective leadership थी under the overarching image of Prime Minister Modi. So the Modi magic that we keep talking about is winning states for the BJP.
Precisely. Modi magic has held, and Maria, very honestly and frankly, nobody outside of Amit Shah's strategy group believed that they were going to win 3 out of 3 in the Heartland. That is again very interesting. You mentioned about Amit Shah telling everybody, and I had a small chat with him when he said कि people won't believe now, but Chhattisgarh we are going to win.
You know, Sanjay sir, मैं एक चीज बस add करूंगी. There is this party that we have seen in action since 2014. Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, who started as the BJP president. In those 5 years that he was the BJP president, he has travelled to each and every state of India. He is the person responsible for ensuring that every district of India has a BJP office.
Yeah, every district now they are going district wise. The fact remains that Rajasthan people were talking too much about Gehlot, the welfare schemes initiated by Gehlot, and so on and so forth. In Madhya Pradesh, again, these numbers, nobody had believed these numbers. I think these numbers should be comparable to the numbers that BJP got in Gujarat. Again, head to head, coming to 2024, head to head, BJP vis-a-vis Congress, where they have been pitted straight one against each other in 2014 and 2019. BJP's strike rate is about 85%.
Yes.
So these numbers actually tell you a very larger story.
And talking about that aspect, when Karnataka elections were lost, Desh Ratan Nigam, and coming on this also.
Maria, 30 seconds.
Yes.
When you did that big fight, the last point where we concluded was Chhattisgarh.
Yes, that's an important point that we did. Desh Ratan Nigam, when the Karnataka elections were lost, the point was that the BJP is not relying on local leadership. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is doing too much of heavyweight lifting. Just look at these results. All 3 states, but is it different because it's a Hindi belt? Cow belt mein mahal isliye different ho sakta hai because the Labharti aspect, the Modi voter is very much there because of the Labhartis. The last mile delivery of the schemes of the government is being felt on the ground, and we have seen that on ground.
Yes, certainly, Maria. In fact, delivery of the scheme so far as BJP is concerned and digitalization of the entire scheme is one of the most common factors for BJP's delivery. And not to forget their grassroots level workers. Their grassroots level workers, Panna Pramukh, which take everything to the bottom, right to the last mile connectivity is their Karyakartas. And then comes the Prime Minister. Let me put it this way. The Prime Minister is bonus to everything. The structure that they have, the grassroots workers that they have, the booth level workers that they have, and therefore, if you look at the entire state of Karnataka, they lost because of the loss of few leaders out there, and Andhra Karnataka, the bad loss that they had in Andhra Karnataka.
But there are a couple of important points. Half a second, Veera, which I wanted to make over here, and just go back to these numbers also in terms of state by state. The key point that you can actually see over here is that despite the India alliance actually gaining a little bit of steam, when it comes to numbers in the north of the country, they are nowhere to be considered. On the 6th of December, there's going to be an important meeting. They'll certainly be taking stock of what is proving to be a fairly disastrous run. We can also see, if you look at Telangana and the fact that the Congress is likely coming to power over there, we can see a clear north-south split over here. So the Karnataka win for the Congress earlier on extending into Telangana, but the key point being that if there isn't something substantial, the India alliance and not least of all the Congress party has in mind for the north of the country, come 2024, it'll be difficult for a mood change to actually be in effect, and without something substantial over there, they'd be in trouble. Let's just quickly go across to all of the states right now and see what the lead situation is. Chhattisgarh first. This has gone down from 49 to 47, but considering the fact that it was the Congress which was expected to win, it is a huge jump for the BJP, and it appears at this stage that the BJP is on its way to coming to power in Chhattisgarh. Raman Singh a little while back actually said quite clearly that, look, we are going to win. We knew it all along. Amit Shah had made the point for a while that it was the BJP coming to power. All the exit polls, by and large, got it wrong over here. I think there was one outlier. Let's move to Madhya Pradesh. And this, I think, as far as the BJP is concerned, is one of the biggest stories. Not because they are likely winning Madhya Pradesh at this stage, but the margin of the win is absolutely huge. Up 45, the Congress 41. Remember, there were a couple of exit polls which had said that no, in fact, it's the Congress which is going to win. With a lead like this now, and we are well now past, or we are slowly getting past the stage of ballot polls, it is a huge number over there as well.
It's a wave election in Madhya
Yeah,
Pradesh.
so this is going to be a resounding victory, one way or the other for the BJP, it appears at this stage. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves until some of these trends become results. That will happen. Rajasthan, another huge story. Again, there were those exit polls which said that no, in fact, it's going to be close. It might be in favor of the BJP. But let's take a look at where the BJP is now. Up 39, the Congress down 33. Let's go across now to NDTV's Manish Kumar, who joins us from Chhattisgarh, from Raipur. Manish, thanks very much for being with us. You know, there was a sense of optimism in the Congress in the morning. Baghel started trailing. He may be in the lead right now, but it seems that the BJP is clearly on the ascendancy in Chhattisgarh. Is that the sense in the Congress office?
Yes, of course, the hope is now giving way to despair. Although the Congress party managers, campaign managers, they are still claiming that it's too early because there are over 15 rounds still to count, and they are hopeful that they will be able to somewhere change the trend. But even that whatever trends are there till 11:30, it's it continues to hold in the remaining last round. But of course, Chhattisgarh has a history of close contest, but we have to keep our fingers crossed. But as of now, it seems that BJP is going to, create a big upset, because, this is one of those few states where almost all the exit polls gave, Congress party a comfortable majority. Of course, everyone was, aware of the fact that Congress will not be able to retain either the seats which they won last time, or the seats, the vote percentage. But nobody expected this kind of, dismal performance by the, incumbent Congress government, Bhupesh Baghel government, because Bhupesh Baghel was the face of the campaign, and somewhere he gave the, optimism. He was quite confident that he will be able to pull it off. But we have to see, as of now, it seems that this Chhattisgarh is also slipping from the, hands of Congress, and BJP is on the way back in Raipur.
Let's just go across to Tuhin Sinha, the BJP spokesperson. Thanks, Mr. Sinha, very much for being with us. And Manish, thank you also for having joined us a few minutes back. Mr. Sinha, the key point over here, and let's just take a look at the larger picture. What is the larger message over here? It does appear that the BJP will be winning these three key states, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. If that is the case, then going into 2024, and I do know that assembly election results don't necessarily have a link with what's going to happen in general elections. However, would you say that the mood in the Hindi heartland has been established?
Well, Vishnu, I have been sticking my neck out on this for some time, and Maria is aware of it. I have been saying it for some time that it will be a 3-0 clean sweep for the BJP in the Hindi heartland. Now, there are two factors which are very evident. One is the pro-incumbency sentiment on the ground for Prime Minister Modi and for Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji. But on the other hand, what is equally important is the anger and the animosity people today have for the Congress party because of its duplicity on a range of issues. Number one, the way it presided over and facilitated the attacks, the orchestrated attacks against the Sanatan Dharma. Number two, the way it has unleashed financial anarchy in Himachal Pradesh and in Karnataka through its fake guarantees. And number three, through its all-out corruption, through its duplicity on the issue on important issues like caste census and its divisive nature. So I think this paves the way for a very big win for the BJP in 2024. And look at it, even allies of the Congress party or supposed allies of the Congress party, Akhilesh Yadav has been calling out Congress's hypocrisy. Today
Congress
people
has
of the country.
To worry, Tuhin, I agree with you. Post these results. Because in a direct contest between regional satrap, they'll say that in context of Telangana, yes, we have done well. But Veera, you wanted to come in.
No, Maria, I was just going to go back to the point that you made about leadership and you know, the Prime Minister being the star campaigner, and somebody, we were juxtaposing it with Karnataka. The lesson I think the BJP has learnt from Karnataka is that even if you want to move forward, don't give a public image of sidelining the leader. What happened with Yediyurappa is very different from what you saw in Madhya Pradesh, where Shivraj Singh Chauhan...
And what happened with Vasundhara Raje?
Yes,
In the last moment, you had...
You did not send the message that you have alienated them. You kept the regional satrap as well as you went out, and I think that's part of the strategy. But I think the bigger lesson as far as the Congress is concerned is what Vishnu was also pointing out, that there is definitely clearly seeming to be a north-south divide, at least from the way I see it down south, because several Congress leaders, Vishnu, who we met in Hyderabad, were supremely confident about Chhattisgarh. They were slightly nervous about Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan, they weren't willing to talk too much, but Madhya Pradesh, they were nervous, and I remember them saying 125. So I think that would be a hit. And Chhattisgarh, I think a lot of Congress leaders were extremely confident that they were going to get through.
I've just got a message from those close to Jyotiraditya Scindia coming in, and then I'll go across to Deshrata Nigam on how the Scindia factor, they say, has actually won. It's based on their analysis of the situation in the state in the counting on almost all seats where Jyotiraditya Scindia's loyalists were contesting or where he campaigned heavily, which would be in the Guna, Shivpuri, Gwalior area. It's 15-1 according to Scindia loyalists on the BJP versus the Congress. They say it is an impressive lead for the BJP in these areas. Now, this is interesting because Deshrata Nigam, there were those who questioned what would actually take place with Jyotiraditya Scindia. Was he actually making the mark for the BJP in the state? If this is true, and I'm telling you off the top, this is coming from his supporters, but if it is true, then, you know, it just goes to show that he remains very strong in the state.
I'll just take that question forward with one more thing, that in this belt of Chambal and Gwalior, the point was that the workers of the BJP had done anti-Maharaja politics. That was the sense. But here is the Maharaja who jumps the ship, becomes part of the BJP, and still the workers were okay with ensuring that the party wins. So I think that is the interesting shift that is winning.
26-7 last time in Chambal.
But Deshrata ji just answered that question. I mean,
See,
the Scindia factor.
See, absolutely right. See, Scindia has been able to establish himself in BJP now. And especially the kinds of trends that are showing. And there he's completely, you know, assimilated himself in the BJP. He is also transformed. It is not that the BJP is the only person who's adjusted with Scindia. Scindia is also very well adjusted, and he's a young dynamic leader, no doubt about it. He has a hold in that particular region, and combining it with BJP's, you know, workers, the strength of the workers with the BJP has, and the Prime Minister's charisma, I think all the three factors in that particular region has done wonders to BJP.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. So far as North-South divide is concerned, let me tell you, even in the last elections, the BJP had lost the Karnataka elections. But there was a sweep in the Lok Sabha elections. So you cannot have that North-South divide in the Lok Sabha elections. Please remember that.
It could be the other way around as well. Who knows?
Yes.
No, but last time in 2018, just a quick point, sir. 2018, BJP was the single largest party in Karnataka.
Yeah.
In 2019, they swept the parliamentary election. This time, of course, you have an alliance with
Okay,
JDS,
I know everybody wants to come in. I'm just going to have to wait for a moment. Again, the sponsors, Veera Raghav, important. We need to keep the business running. We need to take a short break at this stage. We'll come back with the very latest. And Aarti has a couple of key points to make. We'll be back. Stay tuned.